With A-Train unconscious in hospital still and Translucent having a public funeral, Huey's on the run with Frenchie, Kimiko, and Mother's Milk. He and Starlight meet up in secret, exchanging information, wanting to secure some Compound V. Ashley is back, being suggested by Homelander for Madeline's job. He wants someone he can control and also keep tabs on what Stan Edgar is up to. After spiraling, the Deep is picked up by Eagle the Archer, who introduces him to Carol. She offers to help him get back into the Seven via the Church of the Collective, headed by Alistair. Starlight blackmails old soup friend Gecko, who works for Vought, wanting him to steal her a sample of Compound V. Mr. Edgar appoints Stormfront as a new member of the Seven, much to Homelander's annoyance. After finding another soup terrorist arrive in the country, Mother's Milk reports it to Raina before her head explodes spontaneously. Mr. Edgar puts Homelander in his place, leaving him fuming, deciding to go and visit Becca and his son. In a spot of bother, Frenchie calls the seemingly disappeared Butcher, needing his help.
Daddy's home.
At a press event, Starlight is surprised to find A-Train is up and running. She tries to gauge whether he remembers anything. He does. Butcher meets with Mallory, making a deal with her to scrub their records clean if they deliver the soup terrorist to her. Upset that Homelander has found her and Ryan, Becca is assured Homelander will eventually get bored and forget them. Homelander suggests that Ryan would hate her if he ever found out that he wasn't a normal kid, instead isolated in a compound. Butcher and team hunt down this soup terrorist, but discover he is Kimiko's brother, Kenji. Butcher admits to the boys that Mallory agreed to help free Becca if he delivers the soup. A-Train meanwhile finds Starlight with the V sample. She threatens to out his involvement in Popclaw's death, causing him to back off. After arguing over his mission, Kimiko takes her brother out, just as the boys arrive, picking them both up.
Let's just power through.
Starlight leaks Compound V, with the whole world now knowing. Starting to get impatient, Homelander pushes Ryan off a roof, wanting him to fly. After Homelander threatens his mum, Ryan's instincts kick in, pushing his father over, his eyes turning red. With the Deep starting to accept himself, Carol sends him to go capture the soup terrorist. Homelander meanwhile gathers the Seven to collect this man also. They arrive and go after the boys, with Homelander telling the Deep to stay put after he apologizes to Starlight for his past actions. Cornering Huey, Homelander orders Starlight to kill him. Butcher steps in just in time, with Kenji distracting him before running off. The boys then get away. Kimiko, however, goes after her brother, but they are confronted by Stormfront, who kills Kenji as Kimiko gets away herself. Homelander begins to get jealous as Stormfront is getting all the attention after taking down the soup terrorist. Mallory gives Butcher Becca's location, suggesting they look into Lady Liberty, a soup from the 70s someone Raina seemed to have an interest in. Homelander breaks the news to A-Train that he's out of the Seven, whilst Butcher finds Becca and plans their escape. Homelander meanwhile outs Maeve live on TV, wishing her the best of luck with Elena, her girlfriend. Huey, and Starlight track down a woman who was paid off by Vought to not discuss Liberty. She was a racist, killing this woman's brother, revealing her to be Stormfront. Becca tells Butcher she can't leave with him. She knows he doesn't want Ryan to come with them, he'll try and get rid of him somehow. Leaving, Black Noir hunts Butcher as he finds the security footage of him breaking into the compound.
I fucking hate Ed Sheeran.
After carelessly taking care of another soup terrorist, the public turn against Homelander further, with Stormfront offering to help. Black Noir tracks Butcher down to his aunt's house. Tired of Homelander controlling her life, Maeve decides to take him down. Making things worse, Homelander ends up taking Stormfront up on her offer of help. Butcher threatens to leak pictures of Ryan to the world if Black Noir touches them, ruining Homelander's image. Mr. Edgar agrees to let them go, with Maeve approaching Deep. She says she could vouch for him to get back into the Seven if he does something for her. Starlight is caught going through Stormfront's stuff, revealing she knows about Liberty, while Stormfront reveals she knows it was her that leaked Compound V.
Girls get it done.
With Stormfront knowing about her leaking V, Frenchie takes Starlight's chip out, so Vought can no longer track her. She tells the boys Stormfront has been receiving emails from Stan Edgar about a Sage Grove center. Deep completes his mission for Maeve, giving her a camera from the wreckage of the plane crash. On his way out, he mentions the Church of the Collective to A-Train. The boys check out this Sage Grove's clinic, but Stormfront arrives. She meets Lamplighter at the facility, ordering him to kill one of the patients before leaving. Recognizing Frenchie, Lamplighter accidentally lets dangerous soup patients escape. Huey is hurt by one of the patients, with Butcher and Starlight leaving, needing to get him to a hospital. Lamplighter taunts Frenchie about not stopping him from burning Mallory's kids, revealing the hospital is a testing center to stabilize Compound V. Elena finds the camera deep retrieved, seeing the footage of the plane crash. Maeve wants to use it to blackmail Homelander to leave them alone. Lamplighter goes with the boys as Stormfront reveals her identity to Homelander. She reveals she was Frederick Vaught's wife, his first test subject for Compound V.
He's got rashes down there.
Mallory and the boys take Lamplighter to Victoria Newman, who's been building a case against Vought. She needs more, however. Starlight meanwhile gets captured by Black Noir after meeting with her mother. Babysitting Lamplighter, Huey sees that Starlight has been deemed a traitor, convincing the Soup to join him on a rescue mission. Butcher visits his dying, abusive father before visiting Jonah Vogelbaum, threatening him to ensure he testifies in court against Vought. Homelander meanwhile takes Stormfront to go see Ryan. Lamplighter takes Huey to the Seven's main room, setting himself alight. Escaping her cell, Starlight is confronted by Black Noir once more. Maeve incapacitates Black Noir, allowing Starlight to escape, finding Huey and her mum. Homelander shows Ryan the compound, revealing his life is a lie. He says he hates Becca, leaving with Homelander and Stormfront. At the court hearing, before Vogelbaum can make his statement, the judge's head explodes, like Rayner's, then Vogelbaum's, and many others in the room, sending everyone into a frenzy.
I can't remember the last time I had a good cup of chai.
Following this, the president declares a national emergency, authorizing Compound V for use by law enforcement. Becca escapes the compound, coming to Butcher for help, telling him Homelander has taken Ryan. Alistair, meanwhile, meets with Edgar, trying to get the Deep and A-Train back into the Seven. A-Train overhears the conversation, finding out about Stormfront's Nazi past. He collects evidence, giving it to Starlight, wanting her gone so he can get back in. Butcher meets with Edgar, setting out a deal to deliver Ryan to him so they can control Homelander if they stay away from Becca. Starlight leaks the info on Stormfront, separating her and Homelander from Ryan. Unable to lie to Becca, Butcher changes the plan. Stormfront returns with Starlight, Kamiko, and an arriving Maeve, taking her on before she retreats, finding Butcher and Becca on the run with Ryan. Seeing Stormfront slowly strangle his mum, Ryan gets angry, losing control, blasting Stormfront with his laser eyes, fatally wounding his mum in the process. Homelander then arrives, wanting his son, but Ryan edges over to Butcher's side, where Butcher promises to look after him. Maeve steps in, threatening to release the video of the plane crash, ruining the thing most important to Homelander, his reputation. Stormfront is blamed for the attack, and Starlight and A-Train are both welcomed back into the Seven. Butcher has Ryan sent away, far away from Vought, with his and the rest of the charges on the boys dropped. Victoria Newman, meanwhile, is the new head of Soup Affairs, working with Mallory to keep tabs on Soups. Whilst on a call with Victoria, Alistair's head explodes, revealing Victoria to be a Soup. Huey then meets with her, looking for a job.
Don't be a cunt.